If you live in Virginia and you are trying to understand how the medical cannabis card process works, you are not alone. Many people believe they can simply apply online, receive a card, and purchase medical cannabis without restrictions. In reality, Virginia operates one of the most regulated medical cannabis systems in the country, and misunderstanding the process can lead to compliance issues. In this video, we are breaking down how the Virginia medical cannabis authorization process actually works, what compliance means, and why following the legal framework matters. Context and purpose. This video is provided strictly for educational and informational purposes. It does not promote cannabis use, sales, cultivation, or consumption. The goal is to explain Virginia-specific cannabis law so residents can understand their legal responsibilities and avoid common mistakes. Virginia does not operate the same type of medical cannabis system found in many other states. There are important distinctions between authorization, possession, purchasing, and enforcement that residents must understand. This is especially important for individuals living in Norfolk and the broader Hampton Roads region, where local enforcement and zoning considerations may apply. Understanding the term medical cannabis card in Virginia. One of the most common sources of confusion in Virginia is the term medical cannabis card. Virginia does not issue a physical medical cannabis card in the traditional sense. Instead, the state uses a medical authorization model. This means that a qualified patient must receive a written medical authorization from a licensed healthcare provider. This authorization serves as the legal basis for participation in the medical cannabis program. Without this authorization, access to medical cannabis through licensed providers is not permitted. This distinction is important because many online sources incorrectly describe Virginia as having a card-based system similar to other states. Relying on outdated or incorrect information can place patients at risk of noncompliance. The medical authorization process. To participate in Virginia's medical cannabis program, a patient must first consult with a licensed healthcare provider who is authorized to issue medical cannabis certifications. The provider evaluates whether the patient meets eligibility requirements under Virginia law. There is no state-issued list of qualifying conditions. Instead, the healthcare provider uses professional judgment within the boundaries of state regulations. Once issued, the medical authorization allows the patient to legally obtain medical cannabis products from licensed dispensaries. The authorization must remain valid and up to date. Expired or invalid authorizations may result in denied access at dispensaries or potential legal exposure. The role of state oversight and regulation. Virginia medical cannabis is regulated by state authorities, including the Virginia Board of Pharmacy and related regulatory bodies. These agencies establish compliance standards for providers, dispensaries, and patients. Dispensaries are required to verify medical authorizations before dispensing any products. They must follow strict record-keeping, reporting, and security requirements. Patients are also expected to comply with possession limits, transportation rules, and usage restrictions under state law. There is no legal recreational retail cannabis market in Virginia at this time, December 2025. Medical cannabis access exists within a narrowly defined regulatory framework. Purchasing medical cannabis in Virginia. Medical cannabis products may only be purchased from state-licensed medical cannabis providers. Purchases outside of this system are not legally protected, even if possession itself may be permitted under limited circumstances. Patients must present valid identification and medical authorization at the time of purchase. Dispensaries are prohibited from serving individuals who do not meet these requirements. It is important to note that purchasing medical cannabis does not grant immunity from all cannabis-related laws. Local ordinances, workplace policies, and federal restrictions may still apply. Local considerations in Norfolk and Hampton Roads. While Virginia cannabis law is established at the state level, local jurisdictions play a role in zoning, enforcement priorities, and business operations. Norfolk and other Hampton Roads localities may impose zoning restrictions on dispensaries and related businesses. Residents should be aware that local enforcement practices may differ by jurisdiction. Understanding both state and local considerations helps reduce the risk of unintentional noncompliance. Who this affects. This process affects multiple groups. Patients seeking lawful access to medical cannabis must follow the authorization process. Healthcare providers must comply with certification rules. Dispensaries must adhere to licensing and verification requirements. Local governments must enforce zoning and regulatory compliance. Even individuals who do not participate in the medical cannabis program may be affected by how cannabis laws are enforced locally. Common compliance mistakes. Some of the most common compliance issues include assuming recreational access exists, relying on outdated online information, failing to maintain valid medical authorization, and misunderstanding possession or transportation rules. Compliance failures are often the result of misinformation rather than intent. Education plays a critical role in preventing legal issues. Why compliance matters. Compliance protects patients, providers, and communities. Following the legal framework ensures continued access to medical cannabis for qualified patients and supports responsible governance of the program. Misunderstanding or ignoring compliance requirements can result in denied access, legal penalties, or broader regulatory consequences. What to watch next? In future videos, we will examine how medical cannabis is enforced at the local level, how transportation and possession laws work in Virginia, and what potential regulatory changes may be on the horizon. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more educational videos like this.